Hello everybody, so this is just another video to review. This is going to be about lesson 2, the election of 1860. So we're looking to analyze the issues that preceded the election of 1860 and the results of the election of 1860. So the election of 1860, we actually go back 2 years to 1858, where Abraham Lincoln was debating with Stephen Douglas for one of Illinois' two U.S. Senate seats. Lincoln would lose this election, but the debates that he had with Douglas across the state actually gave him a launching pad that brought him national attention that would lead to his presidential run and victory in the election of 1860. So we have 4 candidates in the election of 1860. We have Abraham Lincoln running as a Republican candidate, prohibiting slavery in the territories, containing slavery to where it is. Stephen Douglas running as a Democrat, opposing federal slave code in territories, but supporting popular sovereignty. John Breckinridge is the other Democratic candidate. He supports the federal slave code in territories and supports popular sovereignty as well. And then we have John Bell, who is a part of the Constitutional Union Party, which will only exist for this election, and he wants to avoid the issue of slavery altogether and keep the country united. So when we look at the map breakdown of the election, we see the red is Lincoln states that Lincoln won. So Lincoln will win the election, he will win the electoral votes, and he will win the majority of the popular votes as well. John Breckinridge will actually come in second place. He is going to be the green states. John Bell, the one who doesn't want to talk about slavery, is the yellow-orange. And then Stephen Douglas will get one state over here. Now, the important thing to notice when you look at the map here is that sectionalist divide. And we're seeing very clearly the North and the South splitting over the issue of slavery during the election. This demonstrates the division that we see in the country before the Civil War with the compromises that we looked at in the last lesson, but it also shows how clear the divide is within the country between the Democrats and the Republicans. Now, the results of this election, Abraham Lincoln is the winner of the election, and because of that victory, the South begins to secede from the Union. The Union meaning the United States, and secede meaning to leave. South Carolina will be the first state to leave December 20th, 1860. This is before Lincoln has even been inaugurated as the president. Before he is inaugurated, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and Louisiana will also leave the Union. After he is inaugurated, the remainder of the southern states will secede, forming the Confederate States of America, electing Jefferson Davis as their own president, and the Civil War will begin in April of 1861. So very quickly, Lincoln's election is the catalyst point that the southern states use as the moment where they are going to leave the Union. They want to preserve the institution of slavery that they have created in the South. They do not like that Lincoln is not a supporter of the system of slavery that exists. He has this famous House Divided speech. A house divided cannot stand. The country has to become either all one or all the other, referring to either slavery has to exist everywhere in the country or nowhere in the country. So the South knows that Lincoln is not a supporter of them, so therefore they leave and begin the Civil War. And so the election of 1860 is incredibly important because it is that marker that is the shift in time for the beginning of the Civil War. Now remember, these tensions exist before the election of 1860. So it's not just this election that makes these tensions arrive. These tensions have existed for quite some time before the election. And it is the election and Lincoln's victory that causes the southern states to finally secede, leave the Union, and the Civil War to begin. All right, I hope this helps as a nice little overview of the election of 1860.